Hour.
Hello and welcome to the Horror Hour, the show where we discuss, debate, and disagree on all things horror. I am one of your hosts, George, and of course, today I'm joined by one of my fellow hosts, Yutaka.
Hello.
I put it this way because I actually think on the video you are this way, even though you're the mirrored way. But you know what?
I know, right?
These are things that if you're not watching the video on a YouTube channel, then where are you? But that's what I was talking about. So, of course, it is Scream Week this week. It is the week we've all been waiting for. Obviously, because you've all wanted to see our videos, not the fact the film's coming out. You wanted to see what we're talking about. That's, of course, the main part of this week. No, of course, Scream 2022 is finally coming out this week, as we've said, and we are super excited. At the moment that we're recording this, we have not seen the film. Just FYI, we haven't seen the film. So anything that we say in this video here today is no reflection on the film whatsoever because we haven't seen it. But we've got a few videos planned over the week, as you're probably already aware, but today we wanted to do one where we discussed what we would like to see happen in this movie, and then also what we think probably will happen from a perspective of just an outside perspective. So we're super excited to talk these through, and of course you can talk along with us in the comments. Let us know what you think is going to happen or what you think you would like to see happen, all in the comments below, and of course we'll get to respond to them, and let's see if we've got any matches. Any matchmakers. But without further ado, I mean, Yutaka, let's start with you. What would you like to see in this film, Scream 2022?
Oh, I want to see blood, gore. I want to see nasty deaths.
Nasty deaths.
Yeah, like why can't I remember her name? And some people think it was like really gratuitous. But in Scream 4, the girl
Olivia.
where thank you. See, he's better than I am on this. If we were talking Scream 1, I could. But anyways, yeah, no, when she got killed, that was gruesome and it was like over the top, and some thought maybe like too much, but I loved it. So I want a death like that. I just want it to, or deaths, but that's just me.
No, I like that death. I thought it was quite a cool, because I think for most I suppose it kind of harbored back to Casey's death, because that was, I remember the first time I saw her hanging from the tree
with her intestines,
because apparently they left her liver in the mailbox. Did they really leave your liver in the mailbox? I heard they left liver in the anyway, sorry guys. But yeah, so I think there needs to be a big ass, at least one dramatic bloodshed moment, because I'm trying to think if the other films have necessarily had one. Obviously, say Casey was quite a gruesome one, but I'm trying to think.
Well, Steve's too, technically.
True.
Even though it was so quick, but I mean, the intestines falling out and the steam rising from it.
I think we'll definitely get that. I mean, I'm really intrigued. I don't think it's the death of anybody, because I was very intrigued by the whole Ghostface on fire, or what seemed to be Ghostface on fire. Somebody was on fire in the kitchen back here. But I don't know who it was.
So what do you want to see then? What's one of your things that you'd like to see?
I would like to see Sidney Prescott. That's all. I just want to see Neve Campbell. I want Neve to have one of my favorite, although I know it's not everybody's favorite movie, but in Scream 3, I really enjoy. I do. Look, it wasn't what the film was supposed to be, but they made it, and it was a thing. I enjoy it. I've got a little soft spot for it personally.
I loved it.
Yeah. But I really love when she is like talking to Roman and she's getting all, and she's like, for God's sake, I've heard this whining. And she gets all like, when you take some fucking responsibility. I need like a moment like that where she just goes off, where she pops off. Because she she does it so well, being the best final girl. So I just need I want a really good face-to-face scene, running through the house, whatever, with Ghostface, and I want a really good phone call. I would also really, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, but I'm going to say it anyway because that's what this is about. What I would like to see. I would love the first death in this film to be a flashback to Maureen Prescott's death. I would love the opening to be that. I think bringing it full circle would be really cool.
Okay.
And would also then lend into the whole, it's always someone you know. I don't know. I just think that would be like, that. But then I suppose this film is about letting go of the past now, but then I don't know, because the killers is all to do with the past, so maybe this is leaving it to rest. I don't know. That's just something I would like to see. Maybe everyone would disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. I don't think it's going to be Selena Gomez. Let's just put it that way. Do you remember that when apparently there was that rumor that Selena Gomez was in this film?
Yes.
Hey, if she
Bizarre
is.
one, people. Bizarre.
Mm. But yeah,
she's too busy with her hit Hulu show. So
yes, exactly. But no, that is something I'd like to see. I would like to see some good scenes with Sydney and Ghostface, because I think although she's not going to be, I feel like she's probably not going to be in this ridiculous amounts, because I do think this is about, passing
the new
baton.
crew.
Yeah, which I'm absolutely fine with. But as long as she is utilized correctly in the scenes that she is in, I would really appreciate that. So a good phone call. I just need to, like I said when we watched the trailer, all I was waiting for was hello, Sydney. And I was like, oh, that's all I needed. So I'd like to see a good fight scene with Ghostface, a good phone call with Ghostface. That's what I would like to see.
Yeah. All right.
Is there anything else you would like to see?
Oh, absolutely. So a couple of things. One, I think we're finally obviously getting queer characters. So yay. That actually have I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking about the awesome poster. I should have put that as my background, because that poster screamed gay rights in the best way possible. But I'm really excited to see that we have that. And actually, this film is incredibly diverse when you look at just even the past. Obviously, I still love the series, but if you look at the past films, this is a really diverse cast. So I really hope what I'd like to see is just I don't know. I'm already seeing that. And I think when everything was announced, that was kind of one of the things I'm like, oh, I hope we get to see, like, just, it feels like this is more in the present.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. So what I would like to see though, is maybe the geek win finally. I'm just saying, come on now. We could really use that. Or let the killer be queer, because that would be cool too.
Villains back in the day, they were all hinted at being part of the crew.
I want this one. If that is the case, I want them openly out. Yes. I'd be like, all right, get that rage out. But if not, I really I just want to, I want to see either the killer be queer. I know that's just me, or I want to see the geek win finally. I mean, yes, Randy survived Scream 1, but then he was barely in Scream 2. I remember that death. Oh my God, so many people were pissed, but it was effective. Like, you were upset, and it upped the stakes.
Yeah.
So that would be another thing I'd like to see. Something needs to happen where the stakes are upped, where we're all as an audience just like, oh shit. And honestly, I think that's gonna happen, and I think it's gonna be very divisive. So I'm really excited. That's what I would like to see, and also think. But I've got a theory also of who might die, and I don't think you're gonna like it.
You don't think I'm gonna like it? Well, why don't we move on then? These are the things now, guys. We want to talk about what we think is actually gonna happen, more likely. This doesn't mean it's going to happen. So don't come to us after you've seen the film and go, you were wrong about everything. But this is just what we think would happen from a, cool collected mind rather than a stan mind, which is what we are. So go on then. Tell me, what do you think is going to happen in this movie?
I think the trailers have been somewhat of a misdirect.
Yeah.
And I also want to say, like, I've not searched out spoilers. I've not searched out anything, which if you know me though, that's one thing I normally do. Yeah, people are like, why? But I have not on this. But I do think the trailers are a misdirect, and I think it makes it look like Dewey's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see the two deaths, I think, that are going to not shock us, but I kind of want to say, I think Gail's going to die.
Okay.
And Deputy Hicks.
Oh, yeah. I think
I think we've kind of already seen partially what's happening. Her running to her house. That's what it looks like. Again, good misdirect. But I really think instead of like that moment where we see in the trailer that Gail's screaming and we're led to believe that it's Dewey that she's crying over, I just feel like that's probably actually Deputy Hicks.
Really? Well, she's sheriff now.
Oh shit! Yeah, sorry, Sheriff Hicks. That's what I really think it is. And something to like.
Do you think she'd have that visceral reaction to the Lemon Square
Well,
lady?
we got to look how long
10
has
years,
time happened. Yeah, and I feel like that there's probably been like a relationship because you have to admit, even though if we think about in Scream 2, like I mean, Gail didn't like Randy, but you went through that together, like what, like trauma bonding.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like, you know, I don't know. That's where I kind of went every time that I watched that trailer. I'm like, I think that's what that is. I could be completely wrong, but I do think that's going to happen. And I think it's leading up to make us think that Dewey's going to be the one that gets killed. But I think Dewey might actually survive this and Gail might not. That's my thought. But if Dewey goes out, it looks like he's going out pretty strong. Because I love seeing him get all like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like he just had that machismo and it was so cool. The bullets dropping and I'm like, yes, get it, Dewey.
Because what I'm trying to work out with this film, and again, I'm glad that because I really don't think, I mean, at this point recording, there haven't been another trailer. I don't think there will be another trailer, and I'm happy about that. It's absolutely fine. And I'm glad that they've been able to, like, there's been a lot of leaks in films lately where they're like, oh, we'll just have to drop this trailer because it's already leaked. So I'm glad that, touch wood, nothing really, I mean, maybe there has been nothing severe that I have seen. It's not been everywhere. So
the marketing team has been on point. Like even like Paramount's been releasing like snippets over the past couple of days, but it's only been like 15 seconds of stuff we've already seen.
Yeah.
And I mean, their marketing, damn.
It is.
it's like just, it's bravo.
It is. You see, I'm gonna disagree, and I do think that Dewey is gonna die. And I just think that, I know we were talking about Mr. X, but I'm just trying to think in the way that the film is shot, or the way that it seems to be taking place. I mean, it really could be the opposite way around, and we could all be shocked. Like when we see I was going to say Nev. When we see Sydney and Gail, you're being Nev, we're on first name terms. When we see them show up, to the house, that could be near the beginning of the film. They want it to look like it's at the end of the film.
Ooh.
And the stuff with Dewey happens after. I don't know, because I feel like Sam goes to Dewey first, and then Dewey calls her. That's why I'm like, I feel, because there is no scenes with the three of them together in that trailer.
Ooh, there isn't. Okay, all right.
But there is scenes of Gail and Sydney together, and I can't imagine Sydney not being in the end of it, and Dewey being in the end, and
that's true.
That's only why I think it is. I mean, he might not die, but from what I believe, I feel like when it was first being filmed, that he started filming a lot earlier than they did, and I feel like he was done filming before they were, which is where I think the whole Dewey dies. I think he might not. It might just be that, you know, he's out of action. Maybe whatever happens in the hospital puts him in a hospital bed. Do you know what I mean? Because maybe what we're saying, like you say, maybe he doesn't die, but is like he always gets something happens to him in every film. So,
you know, that like what it was Scream 2, like Gail, you're like a cat, you've got 9 lives. I think that's Dewey. Jesus, that man's gone through hell and back.
I mean, I suppose they both have, because she was obviously stabbed as well in Scream 4.
Okay, sure. But remember, I mean, we all thought he died in 2, and that was like, that man was just you know, I also think we're gonna see another stab moment.
What film?
Yeah, I do.
Oh yeah.
and I hope we do, or at least let's put it this way, because I radio silence, I just feel they're being very smart with this, because I feel like I swore I saw something in an interview where they had mentioned that they couldn't show too many trailers because it then would just give away the hook.
Yeah, which I think a lot of people said that's the reason there was only one, because what everyone thinks, oh, we've seen the whole film in that trailer, is like one portion of the film.
I feel like there's a podcast angle somewhere in this, and I don't know why, but that's kind of like, what's grouping all this other, the new generation.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but I mean, I'm excited, but I really feel that's just in my gut. I feel like we're gonna see Gale die. I don't know. I mean, I want to see a big death, and I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's something that Scream has always done, is there's always been a character I've been very attached to that they always have to kill.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
Jennifer Jolie.
Icon. But yeah, I mean, maybe that I definitely one of the three is gonna cut it.
What if all three did?
I mean, that would be interesting. It's you've got to then try and think of where this, I mean, I'm sure that it's not been like, I'm sure it's not left on a cliffhanger, but I'm sure it's being left open for future films
if successful.
Yeah, so I just wonder, how do you think, if that is the case, that this will be the last film with the legacy characters in?
That's a good question. That's hard for me to say in terms of if I want to see that or not, or if I'm hoping, or at least from what I think we're going to see, those, obviously, like you said, like the passing of the baton. I think we're going to have our maybe a goodbye moment with each of the legacy characters, whether it be a death or just, like an exit in a sense. And it's going to usher in a new age, which I'm looking forward to, and I would like to see, because I would love to see more. I just want to see sequel, because I love the series. It's just, it means so much to me. So that's, I don't know. I
think it's difficult. My only thing with, and again, it's not their fault, because it's something that already happened in the past, but it'll be difficult to, unless it's either gonna go two ways. And sorry, I keep going back to her, but I mean, Sydney is either gonna be killed, or she's gonna it's gonna be like a rehashed version of the ending of Scream 3.
I don't think so. No.
Where she goes and she because what else will you do? She either dies, or she just goes back and lives her best life.
I mean, she's got a kid, for Christ's sake.
At least one.
Yeah.
I think she might have two.
I mean, I'm just saying, I think what we're going to see is just a new age, which I'm looking forward to. And that's, that's what I think we're going to just see an ushering of a new cast, new icons, somebody to take on that mantle. And I would love that. I would love it for it to be just, the geek, but that's just me. I'm being biased again. I know.
I do think that something that may happen. Again, no, we're talking about Mr. X. I think that Tara will be the final girl. I think she survives that kill at the beginning of the trailer. And I think that we're led to believe that Sam is going to be the new Sydney, but I think it'll be Tara. I think Sam will die in the hospital. Or she'll die later on. But I think Tara will survive it. I've just got to think because they say in the trailer that about the two attacks, or the first, they don't say murders. They say
attacks. 3 attacks. Yeah. That's right. They never say murders.
And
they just say attacks.
I think they do that to bring Sydney back, or to bring somebody back. But I think that Tara survives, and I think she could be the next.
Well, okay. So I looked at the characters' names. Don't we have relation to Randy?
Mindy Meeks is her name.
Yes.
And the brother as well, Chad and Mindy are the Meeks, or they're Meeks Martin, I think, because obviously they've got whoever their dad is.
That's true. We don't know who that is. And but I would love to see, and I keep going back to the geeks, and maybe this is also because I'm kind of on like a Yellow Jackets kick, because I mean, y'all should be watching it, but Jasmine Savoy Brown, I love. And so I am hoping with my whole heart that she survives and that she's either one, the killer, or two, the final girl. That's what I want.
Mindy to be.
Yeah, that's the actress. Yeah. So, well,
Jasmine Savoy Brown. Sorry.
Yeah, no, she is amazing, and so I would like to see Mindy survive, and I think maybe we'll get that. I don't know. Wishful thinking. We keep going back what we want to see to what we think we're going to see, because there's just so much like, oh my gosh, we don't know because we haven't seen it, but we still really fucking love this series.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of critics, well, let's just talk about that for a second. How do you think critics are going to react?
I think it will do critically better. I think that's hard though, than Halloween Kills.
But I wasn't going to compare it to another film, but okay, we can do that.
But I think it'll be high. I don't think it's going to be. I mean, horror films rarely, unless they, are
that's
real,
actually very true.
They're never huge. But I do,
critical,
I do think that it will. I would think, and I hope that what they do is they have two layers. One that honors the original fans and the huge super fans of the series, but also has one that kind of you could come in now and watch this and understand.
Okay.
I think that's what it needs to do. I feel like you need to sort of, I don't know. Yeah, I just think that if it works on two levels, if anyone can pick up this film and be like, hence why they called it Scream, like the original, that new, 2018 Halloween, and you can like have that say, oh, just start from here. Then if they can do that with this, go for it.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think also, I mean, it's Radio Silence, and Ready or Not was a huge hit critically. People loved it.
Yeah.
And also Radio Silence had a hand in VHS 94.
They did.
And we know we love that, but critically as well, that was very loved. Mm-hmm. So I do think this will play very well. I think we're going to see, obviously, people compare it to the previous Screams, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because obviously I think each Scream has done something very well in its own right. So I don't mind if you do, but I don't think it should also be like a slight against that. I think it's good to compare and contrast kind of thing. But I think this one will perform better critically than the previous one did.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree that I think in order for this to succeed now is you do need to have that audience that you could just drop in and be like, start. This would be their intro to Scream. I was seeing folks comment, because what I do love is I see people are going back and rewatching 1 through 4, which is fucking fantastic. You should.
Yeah.
But this is no shade on this person, because I think I love their videos, but I saw a fellow who was like, Jay and Silent Bob are in Scream 3. I'm like, how did you not know this? And then it was their first time seeing it. I'm like, I feel old. I think that's part of it. But I mean, I think that for this to be, for critics to also enjoy it, I think that's going to be part of it, I guess. But as you said, critics really don't go crazy for horror films. I mean, one of the best horror films of the year is now being snubbed by the Academy. So
we're used to that. Okay, then. Well, to sort of wrap this up, let me ask you one final question. Not that this, because again,
this has been a hodgepodge. I love it.
That's what this is. just like the Scream series, it's been a hodgepodge. Some of it's have been really good, some of it have been not so good, but we love it no matter what. Let me finish my sentence, Yutaka, and let me finish my last question to you. Now, even though people are probably going to come for me in the comments and say it doesn't mean anything, and they only want to, but it only means anyway. What do you think the Rotten Tomato or Tomato score is going to be for this film? And hey, what's the audience score going to be?
I would say that the Rotten Tomato score, or sorry, tomato score, that's the best I can do at trying a British accent, guys. I can't do it. I don't even think it sounded like that, but a Rotten Tomato score, I think would probably, I would love to see an 8 in front of it. I think we'll probably see a 6 or 7, just because we've seen how critics, and this isn't all critics, but there are certain critics out there that have been in the game for a very long time who just don't like horror, and it shows when they, give their reviews. It is what it is. So I think I would love to see an 8, but I think we're going to see a 6 or 7 range. Audience wise, I mean, the fandom has been crazy, and I think we're all just excited. Yeah, I can't speak for the fandom, but I can just, you see that how the marketing game, social engagement, people are ready and excited. So I do think that the audience score will have a 9 in front of it for sure. I would be shocked if it didn't, be upset if it didn't, but I'm really excited. And I'm still, when we see it and we review it, I'm still going to be, I want to be, artist subjective, but I want to, if there is something bad, there's something bad. But I still am going to love this series and this movie. That's the problem. I'm like, I've got to break that apart. But I do. I think the audience score is going to be significantly higher. But my God, I would lose my shit if this came out and like critically, like it was just a bomb, or not a bomb, but you know what I mean? Like it just was like good. Sorry. Like it was just like, critically where it just exploded and it's doing like massive, hey, it's up on the 9s too. But yeah, I really would like to see that. I just, realistically speaking, that's where I think it's going to end, is a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, I mean, I would be sad if it got anything less than anything in 7 or 70.
Yeah.
I can see an 84. I can see an 8, don't know why, but I can. And sometimes my dreams have come true. So let's hope this is one. But
how about go with an 83? I know that sounds weird, but it's just, it's the year I was born. So let's go with it.
Okay. Why don't we go with 95? That was the year I was born.
Oh, I like that better. Yeah, let's go with that.
But no, I do think this could be in the 8. I do think there is a chance of this being in low 80s. I mean,
which would be fantastic.
If I was on, I haven't seen it, and I'm already scoring at 100%. Not that I'm on.
He is. I'm going to be the one who you all are going to come for in the comments when we actually review this, because George is just going to be like, I loved everything. I'm like, George, you could see the boom. I'm like, I don't care. I loved everything. Not that that's happening.
It was part of the film. You needed to see it. It was breaking the mirror. No, but yeah, I mean, I think we could see at least low 80s. Let's see what happens. And I do agree with you. I think audience score will definitely be in the 9s. I would be surprised. I would be really shocked if this film did bad to an audience wise.
I would too. Well, with that, then let me ask a final question.
Go for it. Uno reverse.
This beard has been out of control, y'all. I'm sorry if you're watching this. What do you think the box office is going to be? Hey, we got to ask it, because I've seen some crazy projections. But what do you think it will be, and what do you think it'll be, and what do you think it needs to be considered a success and practically greenlight another one?
I'm gonna say I think it will do about 140.
Worldwide or domestic?
Oh no, worldwide. Domestic. Well, sorry, your domestic, because mine doesn't count as domestic.
Good call.
So sorry, the American domestic, maybe about 75, 80.
Okay.
And then
that would be a hit, honestly, for a horror film.
I think it'll do better than, because again, I think with with Halloween, I hate to go back to Halloween Kills, but I'm talking about like a big blockbuster film that was a franchise and sort of come back. The thing with that one was that we all knew it was going to be a middle film.
True.
So like some people probably thought, oh, I'll wait, and you know, it didn't see as much. Whereas this, it's been 10 years since the last Scream was out. It had been 2 or 3.
And that was partially, I think, why Halloween 2018 was that huge success.
Exactly.
We had all been waiting.
Yeah.
And you brought back Jamie Lee Curtis. So I completely agree. It's been, you know, that long of a period. We're foaming at the mouths. We're ready for this. So I saw somebody say projected to open up here in the States with 45 million. And I'm like, now if it did, that would just be fantastic. I would be so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would be huge. I think opening weekend, I think what we'll see is maybe high 20s, low 30s, which is still good. But I think for like just out the gate success, if you've got a 4 or a 5 in front of it, that is, people would just like lose it. And that would almost green light a sequel, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I see high 20s, low 30s. And I'm still happy with that, because as long as it's really about the, you know, if it has legs, because again, Halloween Kills still made all that money and it was still available day and date. So just saying, if you know, now granted, I obviously want people to be safe and, you know, Omicron. So I don't know how that's going to factor into things. So that makes me a little nervous. And
what is Paramount's stance at the moment? Is it 45 day window?
Yeah, still 45-day window.
So I don't know. Will people wait? I mean, I'll be going to see it multiple times in the cinema.
I know some will be waiting, and I think that's perfectly fine though too, because you know, you know me, this is probably there's only been a few films that I have seen. And this is the one that if I'm risking something, now granted, I'm going to be masked, vaxxed, boosted, all that stuff, but I want to see this film. This has been this and the Black Phone were I
was waiting for that to come off.
Yep. Fuck off.
Push back, hasn't it?
It did. So fuck off. Jesus. If we get to interview Scott Derrickson, I'm hoping. I thought George won't be there. That's for damn sure. But no, these were the 2 horror films this year that I have been really excited for, because there's just so much buzz, so much momentum. Now, granted, people have seen the Black Phone, and critically, that's already still real. Like, I don't know if it's at 100 now, but it was.
Hi.
So anyway, but these are the 2 films that I would be willing to go see in theaters. So I'm hoping this is a success. I really think it will be. It's just a matter of, is it going to be right out the gates, or is it the long game? You know,
yeah,
that's really where we're at. But either way, I'm excited.
Me too.
I know we're gonna be happy. We're gonna be mad. We're gonna be sad, and then we're gonna be happy all over again.
Yay! It's gonna be all good, guys. But no, I look, whatever it makes. I think it's still a great thing. I'm just so glad it's happening, and I really hope that it sort of does rejuvenate the series. I do think this is a series that can be rebooted and brought to a new generation of people.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how that is done and how well it's done. And in Radio Silence, we trust. And yeah, it's for Wes. So we shall see. Thank you to everybody who's listened and watched this video. As we said, it's been a little bit everywhere, but we've just been giving off. It's been sort of like, you know, where we just were so excited. We've given all our thoughts.
And George and I haven't got to talk about Scream really. So like we are like
we've been waiting
going back and forth, and I'm excited. I have high hopes. I'm not gonna say high standards, because I'll still probably be like George a little bit, like, oh my God, it was the greatest thing I've ever seen. But I'll still probably be, you know, fair.
Yeah.
So you guys will hate me after we do the review, or not, who knows? We haven't seen it.
Plot twist. I hate it.
Yes. Oh my God.
No.
It will be the horror hour without George.
Yeah. It won't. It could never be. Right. Again, thank you everyone for listening and watching. Please do let us know in the comments below, as we said, what you think will happen in it, what you would like to see happen, what you think the box office will be, what you think the Rotten Tomatoes, what you think everything we discussed. Let us know in the comments below what you think, because we really want to see. We want to get an idea, paint a picture now to see, so we can all mentally prepare for the aftermath. But yeah, thank you.
Yes,
we'll see. But thank you very much for watching, and of course stick around for more videos. It's Scream Week. There's something coming every day. See you later.
You have been listening to the Horror Hour. See you next time.